Cool. And we will get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our peer-to-peer session. Submit your work, the 2026 Seaport Art Walk Call for Art. My name is Hendrik Hernandez Resto. I am the creative specialist at New Bedford Creative. Thank you for joining us today. Before I go any further, please enter your first and last name in the chat along with your email for our records. Thank you. This peer-to-peer series is geared to enrich, educate, and connect creatives within our community. New Bedford is the home of artists, creatives, changemakers, designers, entrepreneurs, and community enthusiasts. The peer-to-peer sessions embraces the pulse that makes New Bedford so unique while also expanding our knowledge and connections. New Bedford Creative offers many opportunities for artists and cultural organizations. Join our creative directory, apply to one of our grants or call to art, list your event on our calendar, all for free at our website, newbedfordcreative.org. Peer-to-peer sessions is supported in part by the City of New Bedford's Arts, Culture, and Tourism Fund, facilitated by New Bedford Creative at the New Bedford Economic Development Council, which receives support in part from the National Endowment for the Arts, a federal agency. We would like to thank Mayor John Mitchell, his administration, and the entire New Bedford City Council for their continued support of the creative sector. Additional support is provided by Barr Foundation, Bristol County Savings Bank, and South Coast Community Foundation. Before I introduce our presenter, I want to go over the format for this session. Once Zane is finished, we will open up for Q&A. I will review the questions in the chat first, and then we can continue with our Q&A live. We will have about 20 minutes for questions so we can wrap up on time by 1:30 p.m. Just so everyone is aware, this session will be recorded. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat so we don't miss them when we open up for Q&A. Most sessions throughout this series have been recorded and can be found on our YouTube channel at New Bedford Creative in the following weeks. I will now pass it over to Zane Cox to share more details of who they are and what they will be presenting for us today. Give me 1 second to mute myself, Zane, and then you can share the screen. All set.
Great. Thank you, Hendrik. And thank you all for being here today. Super exciting. Most of you, I think, know me, but my name is Zane Cox. I'm the Senior Fellow for the Arts and Entrepreneurship with New Bedford Creative at the New Bedford Economic Development Council. And it is my pleasure to be presenting what I think is our last peer-to-peer session of the season, isn't it? And I think we're saving the best for last because this is one of my favorite topics. We're going to be going over today all about how to apply for the 2026 Seaport Art Walk. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen in just a second. Okay, there we go. So where do we go first? Where do you find the application? Well, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to newbedfordcreative.org, which is our website. You're going to find this handy menu at the top. You're going to navigate over to the section that says Cultural Districts and the Seaport, and you'll see this little sidebar that comes out that says Seaport Art Walk. Click on that, and you'll be on our Seaport Art Walk page. It's that simple. So before we jump into the application itself, I'm just going to go through some of the guidelines. So if you're unfamiliar with this exhibition, if it's your first time applying, New Bedford's annual Seaport Art Walk was founded in 2013 by artist Jessica Bergoli, and it is the city's very first large format outdoor public art installation. And every summer, sculpture and murals are strategically placed along New Bedford's working waterfront and Seaport Cultural District. And thank you, Margot, for pasting that link in the chat. So I am very excited to announce that as of yesterday, our applications for 2026 are officially open. You can apply now. Usually we open applications in December. We're opening them up in November this year, so it gives folks almost an extra month to plan. So this right here, where I have my mouse, it says click here to apply. That's the link to the application. and I'm just going to read through the guidelines first. So we are accepting this year proposals for two different components of Seaport Art Walk. We tried this format out last year, and it worked really well. So we're doing it again. First off, we have our call for art for our standard outdoor exhibition, in which we accept proposals for outdoor murals, sculptures, and installations, new or pre-existing. So if you have a proposal for a new piece of artwork, you may receive up to $2,500. That's $2,500 in funding per artwork, and you may submit up to 3 proposals. For every proposal, you will need to include the following materials and information. All of the basic stuff, so that's your name, your phone, email address, whatever your primary website or social media is, the title of your project, a narrative description of the project addressing this year's theme, which is good trouble. We'll talk about that in a second, and anticipated dimensions of the work you're submitting. You'll also need a schematic design, which will address how your artwork will sustain the winds and the high traffic area along the waterfront. Keep in mind, this is an exhibition that runs for several months, and it is at a high exposure area. So you'll need to keep that in mind. A schedule of maintenance, which is very simple to do. It basically just boils down to saying, I will check on my piece regularly at whatever intervals you want to come. Again, for a minimum of 4 months, July through October. A budget, which should include the cost of estimated fabrication, construction, and any associated fees with installation and deinstallation, as well as the total cost of value and or the sale price, if that's applicable, if you'd like to sell your piece. Your CV or your resume, which is required, and an artist statement, which is optional. And we'd also like to see past work, so please upload at least 3 images, preferably images of past public artwork. That's everything you'll need if you're submitting a new piece of artwork. We also love existing pieces that you may have created in the past. If you want to submit one for an existing piece, you can receive up to $1,000 in funding. You'll need a lot of the same information. Again, basic stuff, name, phone, email, etc. Photos of your work, because this is an existing piece. We don't need any photos of your past work because this is a past work. So 3 images, and it's best to include different angles if possible so we can see all sides of it. Again, a schedule of maintenance, same as above. A budget, of course, if you're submitting an existing piece, you'll only need a budget for installation and deinstallation because you're not going to need any materials, and sale price if it's applicable, as well as your CV and your artist statement. So much the same as if you're submitting a new piece. That's the first component of the show. Our second component, which we just started last year in 2025, is what we're calling our digital gallery exhibition. So this is something where we encourage artists working in every medium to apply, even if you're not within the field of public artwork, outdoor artwork, if you're a small scale painter or you're a ceramicist, or even if you're a performance artist, we encourage you to submit for this show. Everybody is welcome. So for this, we're asking artists to submit up to 3 digital images of your artwork, whatever that may be. It's very simple. Again, we need your basic information, name, phone, email, etc. And also, in addition to that, the medium of the original form of the artwork. Your resume and CV and an optional statement. And then, of course, the photos themselves. It's important to keep in mind the minimum resolution that we need. These photos, if accepted, will be printed on kiosk panels. And I'm going to show you what those look like. If we scroll down here, we can see last year's exhibition. So you can see the panels that we use. They are about 5 feet high by 2.5 feet wide. And they're super high quality, printed on these glossy panels. I think we recognize a couple of these folks. There's another one. And that's kind of what the final design is going to look like. You'll have your work and then usually a written statement if you have one, and your name. So if you're submitting photography, we do ask that you have a minimum resolution of 3,300 by 5,100 pixels at 72 ppi. And that's everything that you'll need for the gallery exhibition. Just come with your photos and please come and submit. So deadline for proposals. Our deadline this year is going to be 11:59 p.m. Eastern on Monday, the 23rd of February. So you've got several months to apply. Going over briefly our timeline, again, the deadline is February 23rd. Artists will hear of acceptance by Friday, March 20th. Installation dates will be roughly June 29th to July 8th. This is flexible. This is more of just a administrative period to be coordinated with our curator, Jessica Bergoli. The important part about installing your artwork is that it must be installed before our opening date, which for 2026 is going to be Thursday, July 9th, coinciding with AHA Night, and the exhibition will be open through the end of October. If you're accepted to the exhibition, we do ask that you please save 5 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, 7/9, to participate in a walking tour on AHA Night. It's super fun. Everybody gets to walk around and talk a little bit about their pieces. So please save that time slot. And then takedown takes place during the last week of October. Total project award. Artist stipend for new outdoor artwork, again, is up to $2,500 per artwork, and for existing outdoor work is up to $1,000. Artist stipend for featured digital photography is up to $250 for a proposal. Insurance is not provided. You'll also be awarded with an invitation again to present your art during the opening night on July 9th. And all winning projects will be featured in print and online media, and a profile piece featured on our social media platforms, including all New Bedford creative social streams. So if you'd like to view examples of work from past years and locations where artwork is usually installed, you can check out the rest of this page. We have plenty of pieces to look at. Most of the time we install pieces along MacArthur Drive. And just a quick word for if you are submitting a mural piece, there's a couple of things that you can do. We've had folks such as this one who have submitted freestanding pieces that will kind of stand upright. There's a couple of people that have done that. Here's another example of that. And then there's a second location for murals. So this artist here chose to affix a couple of plywood panels to this electrical fencing on MacArthur Drive. That's an option as well. If you do choose to do so, the maximum size for the panels, and I'll show you a picture, is 4x8. So these two right here are each 4x8. So that's the maximum size for the electrical fencing. Heading back up, just as an FYI, offensive, negative, or discriminatory content is not permitted. All designs and text must align with civic property guidelines for public display. And good trouble is a theme that's, of course, open to some interpretation. We'll get into that shortly. But if you have any other questions pertaining to content guidelines, if you want to submit something, but you're just not sure about it, please check in with me first. You can email me at zcox@nbedc.org, and I'll get back to you with any guidelines that you might need. So now jumping into the theme itself. For 2026, our theme is good trouble, and our tagline is kind of protest and poetry, disruption and healing, resistance and creation. So in 2026, we're inviting artists to get into a bit of good trouble. This call for art challenges corruption and injustice, seeking bold works that dare to imagine a more equitable world. This exhibition, marking the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, honors those who speak truth to power and invites artists to create in that legacy, exploring themes of civil disobedience, community organizing, cultural resistance, and more. New Bedford has long been a city of resistance. During the American Revolution, British naval intelligence described it as a harbor much used by the rebel privateers, whose vessels greatly annoyed His Majesty's trade. And this history reminds us that the spirit of challenging authority and defending our community runs deep in our city. This year's featured works will be rooted in activism and social progress. They might confront unjust systems of power, honor the local freedom fighters that came before us, or tell stories from the front lines of marches and movements. And above all, they will serve as expressions of solidarity and hope, standing as beacons of light in times of darkness. Good Trouble is our call for art this year, but it's also a call to action. And this, of course, was inspired by this quote from Representative John Lewis, which he spoke on March of 2020, "Get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America." So that's our theme for this year. I think that's about all of the basic information that you need to know before diving into your application. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, we're going to click here to apply, and this will bring you to our submission portal, which is facilitated through the Submittable platform. If you have applied to any NB Creative program in the past 3 years or so, you will likely already know how to use Submittable. If this is your first time using Submittable, not to worry, it's very simple. All you need to do to create an account with Submittable is just have an email and a password. It's that simple. So we're going to click on Seaport Art Walk 2026. If you want to review the guidelines again, you can with this drop-down menu. This is covers everything that I just spoke about. This is on our website. And once you're comfortable with the guidelines, we're going to hit submit. So you're going to go ahead and log into your Submittable account if you have one. And again, if you don't, you just need that email and password. I'm going to log into my account. And we're in. We have the guidelines once again, a third time, just to make sure you didn't miss anything. And now we begin with the application itself. So no matter which component you're applying to this year, every application is going to start off the same way. We need your name, first name and last name. I hope you have that. A phone number. It does need to be a valid phone number. So like I tried typing in 000123456 in here, and it wouldn't let me do that. It does need to be a valid phone number. So I'm going to put in a valid phone number. You'll need your primary email address. Please make sure that this is an address that we can contact you at. It may or may not be the same email address that you use to sign up for Submittable. Next, we're going to need your address. We're going to assume that you're applying from within the United States. You will have to scroll all the way down to the use section to find US. We're going to need your home address. I'm going to put the address of the NBEDC for my application. The city you live in, which is New Bedford in my case, but we accept folks regionally. Your state, province, or region, which is Massachusetts, and your zip code. Easy stuff. Next, your website or social media. This is going to be the primary point that we promote on our social media. So whatever that may be, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on TikTok, or if you just have a regular website, I'm going to put our website, newbedfordcreative.org. The best thing to do is if you have a link tree, which allows you to link to all of your social media profiles. If you have several, you can put the link to your link tree in this box. Next up, we're going to need your resume or your CV. I already put mine in, but I'm just going to delete it and show you what that looks like. You can file, and what you can actually do is just drag and drop a file and pop it right in. Or if you don't want to do that, you can choose a file directly from your downloads folder. Either way works. Please note that we do accept PDF only for resume and CV, so make sure it's in PDF format. And that's all of the basic information covered. So next up is the big question. Are you submitting a proposal for our outdoor component, our standard exhibition, or photography of your artwork to be printed on kiosks for our digital gallery exhibition. I'm going to go over both of these options. So for now, I'm going to say I'm submitting a proposal for outdoor artwork.
$500. Excuse me, Zane.
So if you're submitting for outdoor artwork, is it going to be for a new piece of work or a pre-existing piece of work? The information is going to be the same no matter which one you select, but for now, we're going to hit a new piece of artwork. Next, the title of your work. My work is going to be Plastic Rooster, which is not my piece. It is a piece of public artwork that exists in New Bedford, but for right now, we'll pretend that this is what I'm submitting. Next, we're going to need your project narrative. We do limit this to 350 words, but this is going to be your main narrative that's going to tell us exactly what your piece is about and how it interprets this theme of good trouble. And we have the theme down here again as a reminder of what we're looking for. So I have a very brief narrative, and I don't think this is even close to 350 words, but this is just a 3-sentence thing that addresses the theme and explains a little bit about the piece. You can type in as much or as little as you want, as long as it fits within that 350 word limit. But we do encourage you to explain the theme as best you can, which will increase your chance of a successful application. Next, your dimensions. So the length, width, and height that you anticipate your finished piece is going to be, or the dimensions that it is if you're submitting a existing work. Just this format is fine, length by width by height, however you want to type that in, as long as it's clear to us and clear to yourself what that means. Schedule of maintenance. Again, this just addresses that you will be inspecting your piece every now and then. In case anything is broken, keep in mind the winds can get pretty high on the waterfront. So I'm going to say I'll be inspecting my piece once a week on Thursdays just to check for wear damage and replace any broken pieces if necessary. Next, we have a very simple spreadsheet for your budget. This will be a breakdown of any associated costs that are going to go along with your piece. So of course, if you're submitting an existing piece, the only bit that you're going to be filling out will be the installation portion. So if I'm submitting an existing piece, I'll put 1,000, for instance, if I'm seeking a $1,000 stipend, the max stipend for an existing piece of artwork. If I'm submitting a new piece, which let's say I am, I check that off at the top, then we can break it up here. So I'll say, for instance, 1,000 for artist labor, 1,000 for materials, and 500 for installation. Oops. And that, of course, adds up to 2,500, which is the maximum stipend amount for a new piece of outdoor artwork. And this is important, total value of artwork. Whatever number this is, it needs to be everything that you've typed above combined. So 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 500 is going to be 2,500. If your artwork is for sale, we ask that you please tell us the purchase price so that we can make sure that's listed on signage and on our social media if your piece is for sale. This can be any amount you want. And if it's not for sale, just put NFS. And then your fee request. Once again, if you're submitting a new piece, 2,500, pre-existing piece, 1,000. So I'm going to put 2,500 for a new piece. All right. Next up, we're going to need a schematic. So this is going to be ideally a document or a PDF, but we have different kinds of formats here to be flexible, addressing exactly how your artwork is going to sustain the winds along the waterfront, and specifically how it's going to be anchored to the ground. Now, there's different ways that can be accomplished, of course. In certain cases, pieces can be heavy enough that they can kind of sustain their own weight and hold themselves. But I'm going to just post something in here that I think is a good example of what we're looking for. Oh, I actually can't open it up within this application. I'm going to go ahead and just switch my screen really quick. Hendrik, if you can edit this out. Hold on. I apologize. I'm trying to open my PDF, but Zoom is preventing me from doing that. There we go. Okay. So this is an example from one of last year's shows. This is a very simple 3-page PDF. A brief explanation here of what the piece is constructed of. This artist says that their piece has an extra heavy angle iron at the base, and concrete blocks can be added if deemed necessary. And another option is rods driven through the base into the ground. And if we scroll down, we can see just a really basic illustration of the piece in question with dimensions and a schematic of the base so we can see exactly what they're talking about. So you don't have to be a master drawer or a master illustrator to convey what you're thinking of, but just something basic like this will work. And this is a piece that was accepted to one of our past applications. So that's an example of a schematic for stability. And I apologize, I'm just switching over to the application again. There we go. And we do only accept one file. So if you have multiple, please collate them into one. All right, so moving on to the last thing you'll need if you're submitting for the outdoor component, images of your artwork. So we ask that you upload 3 if you're applying for, or if you're proposing a new piece of artwork. We ask that you upload 3 examples of previous public art. Or if you're submitting a pre-existing piece, of course, we'll just need 3 photos of the piece you're submitting. So I have 3 photos here. Just as examples, this is a couple of other pieces from the fantastic artist that did the plastic rooster sculpture. And once you have your photos, that's it. That's everything that you need for the application, and you can go ahead and hit submit. That is everything for the outdoor component of the exhibition. I'm going to go back up, and we're going to just take a brief look at the digital gallery exhibition portion. And this one's a lot simpler. So we ask that you upload a single PDF containing all relevant information on the artwork that you're submitting photos of. As a reminder, this should contain the title of the pieces that you're submitting, the mediums of the pieces that you're submitting photos of, the year that your artwork was created, and the narrative description of your artwork addressing that good trouble theme. So I'm going to upload just a PDF of my artwork information. And then the only other thing you need is photos of your artwork. And you can submit up to 6. I'm just going to submit the photos that I previously put in there. And again, please make sure that these photos are up to the proper specifications outlined earlier. And that's it for the digital gallery exhibition. No matter which component you're submitting to, If you're filling this application out and you happen to say, oh, I forgot a piece of information, I need to go and grab it. Or if you just get tired and you want to save it for another day, not a problem. You can go ahead and hit Save Draft, and that'll save all of the progress that you've made in your application. And you can safely close it, log out of your submittable account, and come back to it another day. Once you are ready to submit your application, we recommend, of course, double checking that you filled everything out properly. Even if you haven't, Submittable will give you a heads up for any required lines that you need to fill in. Once you're done, you can go ahead and hit submit. I'm going to submit mine. There we go. And once you have successfully submitted your application, you will see success and you'll be redirected back to our Seaport Art Walk page. That's just about everything. Those are all of the basics that you will need to apply to Seaport Art Walk 2026. Good trouble. Margot, do you have anything that you want to add?
I want to, yes, Zane, thank you. Can we take a look at the budget again, just because we just encountered something with our recent grant application, and we're going to ask that everyone does not put a dollar sign in the budget item. If you
Yes.
can, please just put numbers. That will help simplify the review process for our independent review committee. So yeah, just put in the numbers.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because when these budgets are exported from the application, sometimes the formatting can get screwed up if there's dollar signs. So when you're filling out the budget, please only type in digits.
And then my next question is, with the submitting digital photography for that digital exhibition, the gallery exhibition, is there an easy way to figure out that the photos you're uploading meet the requirements of like the resolution that is needed?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, if you can, if you open up your file just in Apple Preview or whatever preview application that you have on your desktop, you can view the file details. You can do it on your phone too, and you'll be able to see exactly the resolution of your picture, of your JPEG, of your PNG, and the PPI as well.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Looking in the chat to make sure there aren't any questions in there, and I do not see one. So at this time, we are going to open up for questions. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions live. We are ready for that. So if anybody has any questions, just come off mute and ask away.
For the photography portion, how many photos are we allowed to upload?
So for the photography portion, you can upload up to 6.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Paula, I see you have 2 questions.
Yes. On the whether it's for sale or not for sale, it's not specified. Are you talking about the originals or the panels themselves? That's if
For the
original artwork. And then can I just ask the questions and then
Go
the
ahead.
second one is, if you do find wear and tear, then what do? You may not have the capacity to fix it yourself.
Well, what are you speaking about the digital gallery exhibition when you're talking about the not for sale or?
Yes, I'm talking both. For the digital gallery exhibition, if you're submitting, initially when I did the application, I made the assumption that the original artwork was for sale or not for sale. But then when I saw the wood panels up there, my question was, well, maybe people are looking at whether the wood panels are for sale, the actual pieces that are on the art walk, for a gallery space or something like that. Whether those are for sale, and that's a different kind of question. And then the other one is, if you do see something wrong, what do you do?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So for the digital gallery exhibition, there's really no mention of budget here. The panels themselves are not for sale, and we don't include the budget spreadsheet in this component. I mean,
So that would be for the original pieces.
Right, yeah, that's for outdoor works. I mean, if you do want to advertise, if you're submitting something for the digital gallery and you want to advertise that the pieces in the photos are for sale, the best thing to do is probably to put that just in your artwork information where the rest of the information is. And the price can be included along with the title once it's printed.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I don't have pieces for sale, but I thought that might need clarification.
No, I understand. Thank you for that. And then for, if pieces are damaged, I mean, you do what you can do. I mean, it's likely if you have it depends on your materials, if it's something where we've had folks make pieces of recycled materials and they were able to just obtain another one of whatever that material was and affix it back into place with glue or duct tape. We had a teacher who made a piece out of compact discs and she just bought another blank CD and glued it on again. If it's something heavy duty like steel or iron, it's not likely that it's going to be damaged by weather. But whatever you would do to keep a piece maintained in any other exhibition or wherever you store it, that's what we expect for this exhibition. And if it's something where it's really out of sorts and you're like, I don't know what to do about this, the answer is please contact me so we can have a conversation about it and move forward.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else?
Hi, thanks for this, Zane. I have a quick question, which is about pre-existing artworks that don't require installation or don't require installation, deinstallation because they're already downtown. Like the concrete whale, I think was part of the last couple Seaport Art Walks, although it had been up continuously. Right. So is there a way to, I'm actually asking because I was thinking of Elaine's piece, not anything that I have, but
right.
The whales that are right outside the Whaling Museum, can those be highlighted through the Seaport Art Walk, even though they don't require installation?
Yeah, if you have stuff that's already downtown, we can definitely highlight it and possibly, I'm not guaranteeing anything, provide a small stipend. But yeah, like Elaine, your piece that's in the back of the museum, right? We include that.
Okay. I wasn't sure because it's kind of up the hill from the waterfront.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've highlighted pieces that are a little bit more inland at times. So I think we can fit that on the map. Yeah, just reach out to me. And even if you just write up a little thing about good trouble, yeah, I think we can make that happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
All
have
right.
one more, if that's okay, Zane.
Sure.
I was thinking about just the way the kiosk pieces are and how they're facing the waterfront, which is fabulous. But I was curious, that for me, on the backside, that's also like vacant space. And if you're across the street going to the restaurants, you really can't see that there's something real going on over there. Um, is it possible to have something on the front and back side of those kiosks?
Um,
Say for instance, I'll give you an actual. So I have three pieces on the front. Could I put an additional three pieces on the back? Does that make sense?
I mean, that's going to come down to space. You're talking about the digital gallery exhibition, right?
Yes. I mean, on just on the back of those same panels, like those two panels. Yeah, the two panels are just like a folded. So the artwork that's up, that the pieces that were up are facing the waterway. But if I'm over at the restaurant across the street, it's just the back of the piece is just plain board. So I was wondering if for next year, if I were to be so lucky to get in, if it would make sense to submit something that could go on the front and the back
Um,
of that same panel.
well, the kiosks each can accommodate six, and it doesn't matter what angle you're looking at the kiosks, you're going to be seeing something.
Yeah.
So even if you're looking from across the street, you're going to be seeing somebody's piece. If you're asking if you can put something on the back of a panel, I mean, theoretically, but nobody's going to see it because it's going to be affixed directly to the kiosk. So it's just going to be facing inwards and not be visible.
I Zane, I don't think that's what she's saying.
Okay, I think I totally misunderstood.
Let but I'm not sure I understand, Paula, what you're asking either. Although if we're not talking about the kiosks
Mhm.
and we're talking about the freestanding mural pieces, it is accurate that the murals face the street. And if you're getting off the ferry or at the in the parking lot, dropping people off at the ferry at State Pier or going um to the cafe or Whale's Tail, what have you, if you're on that other side, you are seeing a blank back of the mural pieces. Um, I'm not sure that's what you're saying either.
Yes.
If it
Yes.
is it
Mhm. Yes.
okay.
So all I was saying was, does it make sense that artwork should be on both sides of those panels,
Oh yeah, yeah.
if it's possible?
Yeah, I mean, I actually think that that's a great idea for artists designing freestanding murals that we do typically have them face the street, which is where all of the high traffic area is. However, there's over 100,000 people and who take the ferry every summer. And so having something on that side of it does, I mean, I think that would just enhance the exhibition overall.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think one of the folks that participated this past year did have their design on both sides of the piece. Um, this one right here, I believe this mural was visible from the terminal as well as from across the street, unless I'm remembering wrong. But yeah, no, it definitely makes sense to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I have another logistical question about outdoor works. Are there any limitations on the ways that artists can secure secure works in the ground there? Like, does the city not want people digging to put cement, or like is it preferred to use more like staking methods that are less intrusive? Like what are the limitations or the preferences for that?
Yeah, I think what you said, staking, even if it's with iron, is preferable and the less intrusive, the safer you're going to be. But I think depending on what you're thinking, it's kind of a case by case basis. And again, if you have any questions that you're not certain if, this isn't going to work, contact me and we will figure it out together.
It also, if I may, it's worth mentioning that we do have a concrete pad that is on the corner of Route 18 and Elm Street. Zane, can you scroll down to probably Seagull Cinderella?
Yeah, I think that's the last one that was there.
One, but that might, okay. So you can't really see this, but where Donna is standing right next to the piece, that is a concrete base for sculpture work. And we've had various pieces there. So that's always an option too, when you think about what kind of work you're creating, that currently that location is available.
I'm just going to scroll down to see if we can see it in the Jess England.
Can't really see it, but if you keep scrolling, her hashtag one that's in the video.
I don't know if we have a picture of that on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's in the video. Do we all want to watch a video? Or we could fast forward in the video to that part.
Hold on. I'll just let the
That's it.
Seaport Art Walk is a yearly exhibition of temporary public art in downtown New Bedford in the Seaport Cultural District. Every year, there's about a dozen or so artists that submit work for the Seaport Art Walk. Every piece, every submission is judged by an esteemed panel of jurors from around the city of New Bedford. And by the summer, all of the pieces are installed and ready to be viewed by the public. The Seaport Art Walk is a way not only for artists to promote their work and have them displayed in a public setting, but also to be paid for it. We offer a stipend to every artist that participates. There have been some super cool pieces over the past few years and over the history of the Seaport Art Walk. One particular piece in 2016 made international and national headlines. It's called Seagull Cinderella. It attracted a lot of attention. The great thing about the Seaport Art Walk is that not only is it an amazing opportunity for New Bedford residents to see what we have to offer creatively, but it's also a great chance for everybody visiting from the Vineyard and from Nantucket to see what they've been missing out on. So this year, 2023, is the 10th anniversary of the Seaport Art Walk. This is a highly anticipated event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got over 24 artists that are submitting artwork to 2 different components of the Seaport Art Walk this year. Ultimately, the Seaport Art Walk is a vision of New Bedford's past, present, and future. And whether you're a creative yourself or just somebody looking in from the outside, there's going to be something for you.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I like about that is that you do see people installing their pieces.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent overview. Most of that was filmed in 2022, and Hendrik, I'm wondering if it's worth just inserting that raw video file into the final edit of this. Maybe not.
Yeah, into the final edit of this Yeah, I'm sure that if I find it, I can add it in there.
Yeah, and I can send you the raw file.
Oh yeah, definitely then.
Great.
There was music. I couldn't hear the music, but I could hear Zane's, you're talking.
Same.
Yep.
All right. It is 1:22. So any other questions? If not, we'll release you into the mists.
Going once, going twice, going thrice. No? Okay, I'll do my outro. I want to thank you all for your time this afternoon. This was a great session. I'd like to thank Zane for once again for their hard work. Also, I would like to thank our funders, the City of New Bedford, National Endowment for the Arts, Barr Foundation, Bristol County Savings Bank, and South Coast Community Foundation for making this possible. Please be sure to visit our website, newbedfordcreative.org, and join our free creative directory. This is the list we use to promote on our social media throughout the year. Make sure to add your events, galleries, exhibitions, or more to our calendar page that is linked to South Coast Today. We want our creatives to excel, and we are here to help. Lastly, the recording of today's session will be on our YouTube channel within the next week. You just have to search New Bedford Creative. Have a great day, and thank you for your participation. This wraps up our 2025 peer-to-peer sessions. It's been another wonderful year of learning. Please be sure to view the rest of our sessions on our YouTube page, and please be on the lookout for our 2026 call for presenters for peer-to-peer. This is when we accept submissions to facilitate a peer-to-peer sessions, just like this one. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Hendrik Hernandez Resto, at hernandez@nbedc.org. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.
The Seaport Art Walk is a yearly exhibition of temporary public art in downtown New Bedford in the Seaport Cultural District. Every year, there's about a dozen or so artists that submit work for the Seaport Art Walk. Every piece, every submission is judged by an esteemed panel of jurors from around the city of New Bedford. And by the summer, all of the pieces are installed and ready to be viewed by the public. The Seaport Art Walk is a way not only for artists to promote their work and have them displayed in a public setting, but also to be paid for it. We offer a stipend to every artist that participates. There have been some super cool pieces over the past few years and over the history of the Seaport Art Walk. One particular piece in 2016 made international and national headlines. It was called Seagull Cinderella. It attracted a lot of attention. The great thing about the Seaport Art Walk is that not only is it an amazing opportunity for New Bedford residents to see what we have to offer creatively, but it's also a great chance for everybody visiting from the Vineyard and from Nantucket to see what they've been missing out on. So this year, 2023, is the 10th anniversary of the Seaport Art Walk. This is a highly anticipated event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got over 24 artists that are submitting artwork to 2 different components of the Seaport Art Walk this year. Ultimately, the Seaport Art Walk is a vision of New Bedford's past, present, and future. And whether you're a creative yourself or just somebody looking in from the outside, there's going to be something for you.